You've got 10 minutes to pack your things. That's what the man said, standing on my porch in a navy blue uniform that was just a shade too clean, a badge that caught the sun a little too eagerly. He didn't knock. He didn't introduce himself. He just said it like he was reading a grocery list. 10 minutes. My son was behind me, barefoot on the cool tile, clutching his phone like it was a life raft. The house smelled like coffee and cut grass. The morning had been ordinary until it wasn't. I've always believed in quiet lives. Not small lives, quiet ones. There's a difference. Quiet means intentional, measured. I moved to this neighborhood for the trees, the long sidewalks, the way the mornings arrive slowly. I liked the sound of sprinklers clicking on at dawn. I liked knowing my neighbors by their dogs' names, not their political opinions. I liked that my son could ride his bike in lazy circles without anyone rushing him along. After my wife passed, quiet wasn't just a preference, it was survival. Our routine was simple. Wake early, coffee strong enough to wake the dead, breakfast together, eggs if I had the energy, cereal if I didn't, school drop-off, work, home, dinner, homework, sometimes a movie, sometimes just sitting on the porch while the day folded itself away. I didn't bother anyone. I followed the rules. I paid the HOA fees on time, even when they went up for reasons no one could clearly explain. I kept the lawn trimmed, the trash cans tucked neatly out of sight, the blinds uniform like they wanted. That's why the first letter unsettled me. It was thin, official looking, too official for what it said. Notice of violation. No explanation, just a code number and a warning about unauthorized occupancy. I laughed at first, actually laughed. My son looked at me like I'd lost my mind. Probably a mistake, I told him. HOAs love paperwork. I emailed them, polite, direct, attached my deed, utility bills, school enrollment forms, everything that proved we belonged exactly where we were. No response. A week later, another letter, this one heavier, red ink, final warning. That's when I noticed the way people stopped waving. The neighbor across the street, Mark, who used to chat with me about lawn fertilizers and weather patterns, suddenly found his phone very interesting whenever I stepped outside. A woman 2 houses down crossed the street when she saw me coming. Someone posted anonymously on the community board about non-compliant residents and safety concerns. Still, I stayed calm. I'd spent too many years learning how to breathe through panic. I documented everything, screenshots, dates, times, names. Then the men showed up. 2 of them, both in uniform, both with belts heavy with gear. One leaned against my porch railing like he owned it. The other stood too close to my door. HOA enforcement, the taller one said, with authority to remove unauthorized residents. I asked for ID. They smiled. That's when I knew. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was intentional. If you enjoy the video, please subscribe. They came back 3 days later, this time with a clipboard and a tow truck idling down the street like a threat made of steel. I kept my voice level, asked questions, requested documentation, quoted bylaws I'd memorized late at night while my son slept. They talked over me, used words like compliance and liability, said things like, for your own good, and we don't want this to get ugly. Ugly. My son stopped sleeping. Every car door outside made him flinch. He started asking if we were going to have to move again, if he'd lose his friends, if he'd have to change schools. I reassured him with a confidence I didn't feel. The rumors got louder. Someone claimed I was renting illegally. Someone else said I had questionable guests. A post suggested I was running a business out of my home. All lies, all anonymous, all effective. The HOA board refused to meet with me unless I signed an acknowledgement of violation. I refused. That's when the fines started. Daily, compounding, numbers designed to overwhelm, not correct. I considered giving in, packing up, leaving quietly, starting over somewhere else where no one knew our names. But then I found something. A neighbor, quiet, older, the kind of man who watches more than he speaks, slipped a USB drive into my mailbox one night. No note, just the drive. The footage was grainy but clear enough. The men in uniform, laughing, in a garage, practicing lines, talking about bonuses, about how easy it was to scare people when you looked official enough. They weren't cops, not even close. They were hired muscle, paid by a board member whose brother owned several properties he wanted vacated for redevelopment. Fraud, impersonation, extortion. I didn't confront them. I didn't warn them. I called my brother-in-law. He answered on the second ring. He didn't say much. He never does. "I'm coming," he said. When the HOA sent a final notice, eviction scheduled, I let them think they'd won. I packed boxes, I disconnected utilities, I told my son we were leaving soon. The day they came, confident and smug, they didn't expect him. He pulled up in a dusty truck, wearing jeans and a jacket that didn't advertise anything. Calm eyes, measured movements. The kind of presence that makes loud men quiet. "Morning," he said. They laughed at first. Then they saw the cameras, the real ones, the badges being checked, the call already in progress. Their smiles faded. The police arrived fast. Real police, the kind that ask questions and listen to answers. The men tried to bluff, tried to threaten, tried to walk it back. It didn't work. The evidence was airtight. Footage, emails, bank transfers, false credentials. The HOA board member didn't even make it to his car before he was in cuffs. Charges followed, court dates, resignations. The fines were erased, the letters stopped. The neighborhood slowly remembered how to wave again. We stayed. The grass grew back greener. The mornings returned. Quiet reclaimed its place. Sometimes justice is loud. Sometimes it arrives quietly, with paperwork and patience, and the refusal to be pushed out of your own life. I still believe in quiet lives, but I also believe in standing your ground when silence is mistaken for weakness. Have you ever been pushed by someone who thought you wouldn't push back? I'd like to hear your story.